What company has lost their way? Pinterest. Before you could click to read and get the info, now it takes you to another site with tons of ads to where you gave to scroll a mile to get it all. You might even have to give your email if you would truly want the info. I find myself skipping those. Pinterest also ruined Google searches. Nothing is worse than clicking on a search result and ending up on the Pinterest homepage. It doesn't even take you straight to the pin that appeared in the search. There are ways to exclude Pinterest from search results, but that's an extra annoyance. Craftsman, Black & Decker, Stanley. Basically every old American tool company is now a shell of its former self. What used to be Hewlett-Packard Company, it's been drawn and quartered. A succession of really bad CEOs, Carly Fiorina, Mark Hurd, Leo Apotheker and Meg Whitman, have killed the creativity and the soul of the company. It's been split up and no longer resembles the exemplary company it used to be. TLC The Learning Channel. John Deere in their computerized tractors that farmers have to illegally hack to repair. I heard on the Iowa Farm Report about early 2000s John Deere tractors selling above the original MSRP because people want to avoid their new computer systems. Edit. Are you tired of pop music? Are you tired of politics? The Iowa Farm Report would like you to know the price of cattle is down 7.5 cents per pound. Etsy. It used to be about handmade, creative, artistic goods, tools, materials and so on. Now most shops you purchase from buy from overseas mass producers and ship you those items. Large scale businesses took over. The fees are bonkers, but the mass producers can afford it and still make a profit. Etsy is making hand over fist, so as long as that's happening they don't care too much about their original business plan. As someone who sells on Etsy, let me tell you how infuriating it is to deal with all these fees. Listing fee, transaction fee, renewal fees. Jesus Christ, is difficult to see how much I'm actually making. Macy's. It's a junk store now. Most of their locations are sad, ugly and depressing. Macy's used to be the fancy store you went to when you wanted quality clothing. Now it's the same crap everyone else has. After reading these comments, it's basically companies who strove to create a quality product worth consumers' trust, but once they had that loyalty, they dropped it all. Companies caring about product quality and customer satisfaction. Customers trusting and appreciating the solid and honest work the companies were doing. Companies, the brand is established. Time to open the shares and decrease quality of products for excessive profit acquisition. Customers, not cool, no more support or money from us. Companies, Pikachu face. Lowe's, worked there for 5 years, in 3 different stores, and man, the stories I could tell you of underhanded practices, horrible business decisions, and the need to be the blue Home Depot is so outrageously chased to no end. It used to be a fantastic place where you could retire from and have great benefits. Now all they want is their new investment firm to not back out and are grasping at every straw they have to grasp it to just appear like they know what they are doing. They held out from becoming just another bog box retailer, and that's why a lot of people loved them and the tenured, mature employees genuinely loved working there. Now though, I don't know very many people that feel like they have any sense of joy going to work or even job security at this point. At one point they were testing robots to replace staff. It was so ridiculous they pulled them back out of the test stores shortly after. They also have the worst IT ever, spending over $2 billion on a new POS just to pull the plug, and then after they scrapped it they rushed it into every store. All the while they couldn't actually implement it, so the new POS only handles pickup internet orders, so most associates can't even look up your online order as they only have access to the old system. It's caused so much headache and angry customers I can't even count, and that's just the ones I witness from my position, which didn't deal with front-end operations. I could rant for hours, but you get the idea. No clear direction and backwards thinking. Gee, my how the mighty have fallen. Things started going downhill when they changed out their vice president of East Coast television and microwave oven programming after the sale of NBC to Cabletown. Victoria's Secret. It's very obvious nowadays that they are desperate to keep afloat and will take almost any measure to do so. They have tried New Angels, third-party brand collaborations, Livy, use of influencers, massive sales, and even selling third-party products, swimwear, as well as pushing new fragrances, cosmetics, clothing, etc. Despite their efforts, sales continue to fall and Versus is left closing multiple locations across the US. IMO. They have strayed very far both from A, their original brand identity, and B, what the public wants out of Versus. They aren't quite doing either one and it shows, not to mention their quality has tanked along with taste. It's shockingly difficult to find basic, simple, or even just tastefully branded items in the store. Yet instead of focusing on the core of the brand, lingerie, intimates vs. they choose to introduce new mediocre eyeshadows, lipsticks, lotions, athleisure dresses, etc. into the shop that nobody is asking for and having influencers like Jake Paul's ex-girlfriend promote them. I really do believe that specialization is best for them, but they keep straying away from their core products. I won't touch on their marketing methods, because there really is so much more that Versus needs to fix and the marketing is a surface level issue for them. If I could be in charge for a day, I would bring them back to basics and make sure the quality is right. The image of Victoria's Secret definitely shouldn't be a disorganized mess of a store with buckets of obnoxiously branded sale bras in a heaping pile. They also need to be more responsive to what the public wants out of Versus, and work to make a more cohesive brand image and reputation. Personally, I would stick to intimates, bra, underwear, lingerie, sleepwear, vs. their sport line, and a very limited amount of fragrances, lotions. The idea is to hone in on what they are known for, and make it great again in terms of quality, design, and marketing. I would much rather have a small assortment of great items than a wide variety of average poor quality ones. I do hope they can get back on track. It's quite sad to have such little competition. Irie, Third Love, Savage X Fenty, and still be suffering as much as they are, purely due to their own shortcomings. Phrase electronics. As a tech guy, I used to walk in and almost hear an angel choir welcoming me to heaven. I walked in the other day to a huge section of beds. How did they decide to start selling mattresses and all sorts of random crap? I recently watched a sorry YouTube documentary on Fry's showing clips of how it used to be versus now. To be honest, I think they were absolutely decimated by online sites like Amazon, the hobbyist electronic market dwindling, and by the massive overhead associated with running massive brick and mortar stores. General Motors. In the 1960s they had over 50% of American market share, and were widely considered to be the best car manufacturer around. Even in the 70s they still held over 40% market share, and still had a, mostly, good reputation. They originally built their success on having distinct brands to cater to different customers. Chevrolets were inexpensive, Pontiacs were sporty, Oldsmobiles were respectable middle-class cars, Buicks were nice without being showy, and Cadillacs were the absolute pinnacle. GM's decline happened for two reasons: badge engineering and failure to adapt to changing markets. Badge engineering. Designers started getting lazy. Instead of building different cars for different brands, they built the same basic car with the same engine, transmission, and body, with only the names and badges on cars being different. No reason to pay extra for an Oldsmobile or Buick when a Chevrolet was objectively just as nice. This damaged consumers' perception of the quality of GM cars, leading them to go elsewhere. Failure to adapt to changing markets. They built their business on big cars, and when small cars began to grow in popularity, they built half-assed small cars that were utterly terrible to try and push consumers into paying more for big cars. The end result was customers buying better small cars, which were usually Japanese imports. In fairness, not all GM cars are bad, and the company has improved since they went bankrupt in 2008, but their decline was 100% their fault. The East India Trading Company has really diminished over time. Things haven't been the same since Lord Beckett died. The glorious downfall of Yik Yak. It had the potential to match the gravity of Snapchat and Instagram, but they decided to bait and switch their product, changing it into another generic social media platform. I used to use Yik Yak in college and someone posted they found 2 cats behind IDK, let's say Building B. It's been a while, Building B, and I casually walked past Building B that day, and there were 2 kittens running around. I have 2 cats now. Thea'll turn 5 this year. Sears, Roebuck and Company, colloquially known as Sears. They were like the Amazon of their 20th century, absolutely huge and sold everything under the sun. Now they've closed stores everywhere and are basically bankrupt. Tim Hortons used to serve a quality product. We actually now live in a world where McDonald's serves better coffee, mostly because they took the old Timmy's contracts. Subway. WTF happened to my $5 foot long? Jared happened. Gibson guitars. Pyrex. Try buying Pyrex. Trust me, it's completely different. Two companies own the name, but only one owns the rights to the original Pyrex heat-resistant glass. Unfortunately, the inferior Pyrex runs the market in America, while the superior Pyrex is sold in Europe. Pretty sure you can still import though. Dunkin' Donuts used to be a donut shop, but now they're just a coffee shop. I think you mean Dunkin'. WHSmith. Bad management, fed up staff, higher than high prices, cages and book boxes taking up space on the shop floor. Could go on for hours. And their insane overcharging in airport and station locations has totally decimated any trust in them. This item costs £1 in the high street store but £4 at the Heathrow store, and they have the cheek to demand my boarding pass to claim it duty free. Like I know other airside stores at a good deal, but they're a standout example of retail greed. Reddit's been a little wonky recently. Facebook. All you see anymore is tons of ads littering your feed with a few of your followers' posts. I don't know why most recent just can't be most recent. 2 meters ago, 14 hours ago, 3 hours ago, last month, ect. WTF. History Channel, Discovery, TLC, MTV, etc. Reality TV really made these channels lose their way, and it sucks because they used to be great. Yes, I would probably cry tears of joy if there was a modern Marvel's reboot. I'd even settle for World War II documentaries. But no, it's crab truck porn pickers 24/7 and I can't deal. Goodwill used to be a good place to buy clothes and furniture if you didn't have a lot of money. Now it's so expensive I've bought better things for cheaper on clearance at Macy's. Yelp. It used to be reviews, but now their extortionist practices make organized crime look tame. Amazon. It used to be a place to start a small business and now it sucks in so many ways. If your product is popular on Amazon, they will copy your product and undercut you and run you out of business. Don't get me started on their god awful search algorithm. Facebook used to be fun and social, now it is hot garbage. I guess most online companies suck more now than they used to. Anyone remember back when Yahoo was the good crap? Panera bread. Good serving sizes and price, but now you can barely feed a chipmunk with their entire menu. Not to mention they keep changing the menu and removing or altering mine and my wife's favorite foods. Lyft. They started as the cool company that cares about the drivers, not corporate like Uber etc. They've completely turned that around. They're completely corporate now. Went public in March, and have made all kinds changes to shaft drivers out of pay and compensation for vehicle damages. Management is terrible and they are on a downward spiral. Cadbury. Cadbury is studied as an example of what not to do marketing wise in every university in New Zealand. They went from one of the most trusted brands and products to the most hated in less than a year. Any corporate childcare company, KinderCare, Le Petite, Bright Horizons know people that work there and I work at one. It's not about the kids, it's more about money and cutting labor. Vice. I'm tired of seeing all their new and original videos about the weed industry. They're all relatively similar, minus the fact that they're interviewing people from different countries, states. KFC. I remember as a kid the Colonel's chicken was actually quite good. Now it's just greasy and it's not the same as I remember. KFC used to my family's big dinner out every month when we didn't have a lot of money, and I cherished every bite. I went back a couple months ago to try and recapture the magic, but it was just greasy crap. Really disappointed. Royal Farms has amazing fried chicken though. My local Benihana got rid of the glory hole and I haven't been there since. I doubt it will be good for business. YouTube. I remember Nigahiga and Smosh competing for most subscribers on the site at one point. Blizzard. I'm sure someone could tell me exactly what happened, but they used to absolutely dominate PC gaming. To me everything started to go to crap around the release of Diablo 3. SC2 never really hit the stride that SC1 did. WoW used to stand head and shoulders above the competition. Warcraft spawned an entire different genre of games known as MOBAs. Hearthstone, like Overwatch, had an incredible start but languished from lack of solid patches, expansions, and what seemed like tone-deaf developers. Diablo 3 has been one giant quagmire from the outset. What happened, Blizzard? I miss you. Doc Martens. If you want that quality back, go with Soliver. Same as old school Docs. Made in the same plant in England. Doc sold the name. Soliver bought their plant. Quality crap. Dharma Initiative. They just got lost. Back in the 70s, they had some brilliant things they were working on. They were victim of a hostile takeover and never seemed to recover. Whole Foods. Definitely not about promoting sustainability anymore. Just making big bucks off of the claim. Freaking Skype. You have been visited by the ingenious Joe. Comment brain so you always see the glass half full. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Or don't. Either way, have a great day, you magnificent people.